to swear in my old friend and colleague, Cassy Ebert-Gray, as the United States Ambassador. I want to extend a special welcome to the distinguished ambassadors from Ian and Tevi, who represent their nations here so well. Thank you very much to Cassy's husband and children, to her parents, and as Nick said, many other family members. As well as other members of the diplomatic community, representatives from other agencies, and from within the State Department. Again, welcome everyone to the Department of State's Benjamin Franklin Room, the site of many important international gatherings, and thus a very fitting location to swear in Cassy as our next United States Ambassador, as she brings to her latest endeavor a distinguished and diverse background. Cassy's service, both overseas and in multiple functions in Washington, have deepened her understanding of diverse peoples and cultures. We have had two near-miss encounters in our career, first in Para, where she fled town for Port Moresby just as I arrived, and then in 2001, when I selected her to be one of my special assistants, only then I was immediately transferred to New York. Finally, though, a number of years later, Cassy and I finally got the opportunity to work together in implementing such important steps as to assist our foreign national colleagues overseas, and then, several years after that, I was able to finally snag her directly to be my Deputy Assistant Secretary for Logistics Management, where she and I have worked closely together on crisis management, Iraq and Afghanistan, and supply chain issues for the past 4 years. And I'm very glad that I did place her in logistics management, but you should also be very glad because clearly the Norse weather gods are responding to Cassy's great power and held over the weather just long enough for this important gathering to take place. Cassy's service in 4 of the State Department's 6 world regions, and especially her previous assignment in Papua New Guinea, where she and her husband Ian met on the first day she arrived at post. Are the hallmarks of a long and productive career with the State Department, one in which she has guided and assisted several generations of department leaders, and as doing so has made U.S. foreign policy that much stronger. As noted above, she has done this despite having had to put up with me as both a colleague and a boss for longer than either of us would admit. Thus, frankly though, it is no surprise that we are here today swearing Cassy as our next ambassador to 3 of our good friends in the Pacific Islands. Cassy is a perfect fit to be ambassador to Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, and the Solomon Islands. Her past experience in the region there uniquely qualifies her to serve as the President's representative. And in fact, when one of our local national staff at the embassy in Port Moresby, whom she hired during her previous assignment there, heard that she was coming back as ambassador, he postponed his retirement in order to work for her again. This marks on one of Cassy's most valuable qualities, which is her humanity, her warmth, her humility, and her heart. As ambassador, Cassy will strongly represent our government's commitment to women's social and economic power, and along with other policy priorities. She will lead her team to continue the encouraging progress we've helped Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, and the Solomon Islands made on this and other fronts. But perhaps more importantly, Cassy plans to work on increasing the popularity of American football. Although I must record my dissent, because as a Chicago Bears fan, I cannot stomach any more cheeseheads in this world. There has to be limits. Passports will be denied to anyone who is Green Bay and the surrounding environs, including Milwaukee. However, football allegiances aside, in naming Cassy our ambassador to these 3 nations, the President has reiterated our confidence in these important relationships and our strong support for these nations. The President and the Secretary will rely on Ambassador Ebert-Gray to help steward our collaborative efforts. Interagency leadership and community participation have been tenets of Cassy's foreign service career. Her work across interagency lines within the United States government, both civilian and military, has been extraordinary. In addition, Cassy has been active in American Chambers of Commerce and with international or American schools throughout her career. And this distinguished career believes her exceptionally well positioned to lead our nation. Mr. Ambassador, in naming Cassy Ebert-Gray as our ambassador, President Obama has reaffirmed our strong commitment to an exceptional bilateral relationship. We are fortunate that as a chief of mission, Cassy will be able to draw on her extensive experience, that excellence and dedication that she has exhibited in her previous positions, mark her as an officer of distinction, one who has continually displayed presence, tenacity, and true competence, and I have no doubt that under her leadership, this embassy will attract and cultivate the next generation of our best and brightest young professionals. She knows very well the challenges and opportunities awaiting her. She knows the issues, and she does know how to get things done. And when you have the relationship that we have with the government and people of these three Pacific Island nations, it is critical that the United States of America be represented there in those nations by an ambassador of substance and accomplishment, and the American Embassy in Port Moresby will have shortly such a distinguished American in residence there. It is now my honor to administer the oath of office to Catherine Ebert-Gray to be the next United States Ambassador, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, as the Presidential Commission reads, to the independent state of Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and the Republic of Vanuatu. Cassy, as the oath is taken, and this assembly bears witness to it, I ask that you all remember the very, very special nature of this oath. When the United States Congress prescribed an oath of office as one of its very, very first legislative acts over 2 centuries ago, an oath to a king or a queen were quite commonplace, but an oath to a constitution and to the people who one serves was unique, and still today it establishes a very, very special bond between the American people and those who have sworn to serve it. So Cassy, if you are ready, please step forward. Put your hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Catherine Ebert-Gray,
I, Catherine Ebert-Gray,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.